So you go throughout your day in a state of balance and you give. You serve your family or your workplace, your job, but you do it from a place of calmness, of inner strength, of balance, of groundedness, and of open Shen, of love for the moment. And you feel gratitude for your state of being because you're centered. Okay, you're balanced. Your yin and yang is balanced. You're in the moment. When you balance your three treasures, when you commit to a lifestyle of the way you eat, the way you exercise, the way you meditate, the way you take your herbs, the way you spend a little time in nature, that gives you everything you need. Then you're complete. Then you don't have to try hard for anything outside of you. Then you just go through life.
2, 1, 0.
Hi, and welcome to Stellar Life Podcast. This is your host, Orion, and today you're gonna rejuvenate your life force. Just by listening to this episode, I'm sure you will end up feeling just the way I did when I ended up talking to Truth. I just felt elated, calm, and well balanced. And that even without taking any medicinal mushrooms or supplements or changing my diet, just by being around someone who's really a kind, loving person. So beyond that, gonna also learn the difference between Jing, Qi, and Shen. You're gonna learn how to stop your gene leaks and what causes them, the power of medicinal mushrooms and elixirs, and how to boost your immune system, and so much more. My guest, Truth Calkins, is a Taoist tonic herbalist who worked for Ron Tingwar. God, I don't know how to say the last name, but it's Teagarden, maybe. Ron Teagarden. He's the one who established the Dragon Herbs. And Truth opened and ran the tonic bar at Arrow One Natural Foods for 10 years. He lectured at the Longevity Now conference for 7 years. Truth does consultations, runs a healing center using diet, detoxification supplements, technologies, yoga, and meditations. So get ready to get a bit more zen and more joyful and learn a lot about how you can improve your life, which is the purpose of this show. And if you like the show, please like, subscribe, and review, and let me know how you like it, and share the love with everybody you know. And now, without further ado, on to the show. Hi, Truth, and welcome to Stellar Life Podcast. Thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure.
Yeah, I'm looking at all the good stuff that are behind you. For you can see it on YouTube. Uh, you got all those books and tonics, and supplements, and amazing things. So maybe you can start by sharing a little bit about how did you become the expert that you are in all this magnificent knowledge of tonics and supplements and all that.
Back in like 2002, 2001, I was a self-taught Taoist tonic herbalist on my own journey on a health path, kind of like a Taoist monk, and doing Qigong, Tai Chi, meditation, time in nature, on the body culture diet, which is based largely in macrobiotics, making my own food, my own probiotic cultured foods. And I was a customer at Dragon Herbs, Ron Teagarden's Dragon Herbs in Los Angeles. And the herbalist got to know
For
me.
a long time ago. I think it was Santa
Yeah,
Monica. They had a store, yeah.
yeah, on Third Street. And
Yes.
I was a pretty serious customer. And eventually they asked me to help out at a yoga expo. And I ended up getting hired for Dragon Herbs.
Oh,
And
nice.
I learned to work with the Taoist elixirs of immortality. And I read some of the greatest, oldest books on the greatest substances from nature. That these masters who observe the body and certain foods that can imbue certain energies to extend the use span, the lifespan, the adaptability, the longevity, the reproductive faculties, spiritual potential of the human being. And these herbs fascinated me. I learned to go deep and use them, but I didn't stop there. I got into all things nutraceuticals, supplements, diet, health technologies, from Ayurveda, from Taoism, from everywhere I could find treasures of ancient history and mystery school knowledge, and bring it together and put it into my art, my program, my lifestyle. So the tonic bar behind me was like one place where I can go. Everything's there, organized in your environment. The blenders are there, the best herbs are there, the best supplements, boom, boom, boom. So you can quickly make drinks. Then I ended up working for Dragon Herbs at Air One Natural Foods and started the
Mm.
tonic bar in Los Angeles for 10 years and had a tonic bar there inside of a big health food store. People come up to me, tell me how they're feeling, and I make custom elixirs right there on the spot to change their energy, rejuvenate them, de-stress them,
Wow.
build up their adrenals, increase their life force in 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, an hour, whatever they have time to stay. And so I got good at helping to heal and improve other people's health and energy, working as a tonic herbalist
Nice.
in Los Angeles. And in my private clinic, I have a mini tonic bar here you see behind me. So
Mhm.
we make our elixirs there, and we do a lot of other things here too. But it's part of my craft, and I love it.
Nice. What other things do you do in your clinic?
We have a lot of health technology sections in the main treatment room, Rife frequency machines, uh,
Wow. I
full,
heard
full
about
body
those.
full body CO2 treatment, hydrogen, uh, hyperbaric oxygen chamber, Tesla coil, noble gas frequency machines, ozone, EWatt, far infrared sauna, near infrared sauna, um, twin steam sauna, and a walk-in sauna,
Oh, wow.
microcurrent, which can do electroacupuncture. So a lot of different health technologies. The ones I've found to be really good over the years. And again,
Nice.
some of these tools are kind of, you have to really kind of search it out to find the good stuff. But I have it
Yeah.
all set up for us to go treatment through treatment through treatment all day long, and then have elixirs and make the healthiest food and do the healthiest water. We make structured waters from distilled water, then we charge it with hydrogen gas. We drink that with enzymes, and then we put on the inhalation cannulas and we inhale hydrogen gas afterwards. So we do really great, amazing stuff with water as well. And then go
Wow.
out in nature.
Yeah, but it feels like it feels like a full-time job to be healthy in that way.
Well, it's not so much a job, it's like a vacation, a full-time health vacation. Submerge yourself in all the greatest herbs, foods, drinks, treatments in nature, in an atmosphere with no EMFs, no stress. Sleep on 600 pounds of North Pole unipolar magnets that just charge up the body. We're using biophysics, light,
Wow.
water, magnetism, cold therapy. If we harness all these energetics and powers of nature and give them to someone who comes to our retreat for a week, for 5 days, for 2 weeks, we get to let them experience what nature's capable of doing to your being. And they don't know because at home they don't do all those things. And we make it easy, we make it flow, we make it a vacation. We tailor the treatment or the protocol based on their goals, their health issues, and everyone's different. So some people it's a little more intense. If they're biohackers and they're really into this stuff. Some people are more new, it's a little slower and gentle, and we take more breaks and we change the diet and the recipes accordingly too, based on what level someone's at. Because I'm
I
a
have
health chef.
yeah, I have an amp coil in my home for the last 4 months and I haven't used it once.
Yeah.
It's like I have some biohacking gadgets like lots of them. But I find that like I get not even lazy, just busy being a mom and like the stress of life and we moved. I'm like, I don't have time for this. Of course I can find time, but it always feels like I don't have time to take care of myself.
Well, if you're pretty healthy and the biohacking gadget didn't have like a life transformative effect on you in a short period of time, if it did, you'd remember it and you'd keep using it. If it
Right.
didn't, you don't need it. Don't waste your time on it. It's not for you right now. So you got
Right.
to
Oh,
You got to sleep 8 hours a night. You've got 16 hours a day that you're awake. You have to work and function and serve others to some degree and do your duty. You only have so much time to ingest the best supplements, teas or water or food or exercise or meditation or play with a gadget. Okay. So
Right.
you better pick the ones that are life transformative for you. That's what I help people do because I'm a health coach and I design programs for people and I choose the right gadget for them. So for me, I have a few gadgets that I do use every day because for me, they're life changing. They can give me less sleep. They can give me more energy. They can reduce a ton of stress. They can replenish me really fast. Like I wouldn't go without it. I wouldn't forget it because I know the difference is that profound. And
That's
then it's a keeper. It's a keeper in your program. And now you have a superhuman sort of tool. Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. And I like that I like that you made me feel okay with not using all my gadgets. It feels
No,
sometimes you feel guilty. You spend all this money on all these gadgets and then they're like, okay, that's really nice to have and it's still there in the drawer for a long time.
it's a big marketplace. You could spend all day tinkering with little gadgets. And if you're already healthy and these things are just temporarily increasing a little microcirculation or a little oxygen, is it worth all your time? You could end up becoming neurotic, like a nerd, just playing with all this stuff because you
I know
think,
some people that are that like their whole life is around like I know if I'm good if I'm looking at my aura ring.
yeah,
If I look at my data, then I know how I'm supposed to feel.
they're working purely with academic physical tools and the way they're trained mentally at this present time. Their belief system is 100% in saying that the only way to improve my health is to analyze data, improve numbers, and comply with gadget treatments like a robot.
Mm. Yeah.
And not to say that's bad, there is benefit from that. But what about the spiritual gifts? What about the tools of meditation? What about the time in nature? What about the time to not do anything and just be?
Nice.
And what does that do to my heart rate variability? You know what I mean? It's like, so you have to also make time for spiritual gifts. You have to make time for, interconnection. It's not just technologies. We're not only robots, we're multidimensional beings,
Amen.
spiritual, emotional, physical.
Yes. Amen. Amen. So I want to ask you about Jing, Qi, and Shen. What are they? What's the difference? And what do we do with that information?
So these are called the three treasures. There are three main energies that the Taoists, going back 4,000 years, which is part of the lineage of where I come from with Chinese herbs. I'm a Taoist tonic herbalist. The Taoists use these three energies, Jing, Qi, and Shen, to define your being. You are made up of Jing, Qi, and Shen. So Jing, if we translate that Chinese word, means your primal essence, your core constitutional life force, which you're born with, which will determine how long you're going to live, how strong your offspring will be, how much stress you can endure and recover,
Wow.
how slow you'll age, how much courage and confidence you'll have, how much hair you'll have, how quick you'll go bald or lose hair, how soon you'll go into menopause and not be able to make babies. The Jing is largely connected to your bone marrow, your stem cells, your egg and sperm, your nuclear material in the DNA, like your telomeres. Okay,
Wow.
and people with strong Jing have strong physical constitution, like a litter of puppies. We get a runt of the litter that's born weak. It won't live as long, might not make it. And then we might
Right.
have some strong pups. So the strong pups have a lot of Jing. They're born with more constitution or life force. And so
Mm-hmm.
the second treasure, Qi, is your immediate energy vitality that most people are familiar with. And we
Mm-hmm.
generate Qi from food that we eat and from the air that we breathe. Grain Qi and the food Qi make the essential Qi that goes through the meridian system in Chinese medicine that we know with acupuncture. And if you have good Qi flow, you have good day-to-day immediate energy. Jing is a deeper core constitutional life force of inner power. Qi is an immediate energy and vitality. And then Shen, the last treasure, is your spirit. It's your
Mm.
emotional state. It's your love. It's your presence, your connection, your heart centeredness. It's your open mindedness, your compassion, patience to see all people, to be in the moment, to love and appreciate life. So the biohacker who only focuses on data and biohacking all day long, like a robot, a little neurotic, he's not as connected to his Shen.
Mm.
It's the spirit, the emotional side. So it's mind, body, spirit. It's holistic. Jing, Qi, and Shen.
And can
or
you look at somebody and know what they have, like how strong their gin is, or?
a little bit as you get trained. I mean, if you read the first 3 chapters of Ron Teagarden's book, The Ancient Wisdom of the Tonic Herbs, you start to become at the beginning of a Taoist tonic herbalist right there. It'll introduce you to the 3 treasures, inner power, adaptability being the measure of your life. These are all the most sophisticated adaptogenic tonic herbs. To be a tonic herb, it has to nourish one, if not more, of the 3 treasures. It has to have cumulative anti-aging building health benefits. Not like echinacea. Echinacea is not a tonic herb. The less you take echinacea, the better it will work when you need it when you have a cold or flu. If you took echinacea all year long, it won't work. You'll get immune to it. Okay,
Oh
because
wow.
it's not an intelligent herb. It's not
Mm.
adaptogenic bipolar double direction. All the tonic herbs are adaptogens. They're highly sophisticated substances. And the longer you take them, the stronger they make you. And when you stop taking them, you're permanently strong. You
Wow,
see,
that's awesome.
they can change your DNA, and they have no side effects. They're foods. They're a fifth food group that can nourish deeper life force in the body than any other macro. It doesn't matter if you're carnivore or vegan or paleo or keto. Food can only go so deep to nourish the physical body.
Mm.
But when you learn the tonic herbs and you start taking deer ant, placenta, hushu wu, goji berry, cordyceps, okay,
Placenta? Oh, what
yeah,
placenta?
human placenta, placenta humanus, or deer placenta, or goat placenta. There are different forms you can use as a tonic herb, but they use it for people that have been deeply exhausted. People
Mm.
hit complete burnout. They burn the candle at both ends and they crash. And they're so exhausted they can't get out of bed, like chronic fatigue to the point of like you don't know if this person's going to die. You give them placenta and it brings them back to life. It nourishes their jing so deep.
Wow. What is it? What is gene leaks? What does that mean?
When you do things that burn the candle, that
Mm.
burn your life force, you're born with a full tank of gas, a full storage supply of Jing that you get from your mother and father. And you're supposed to draw on that Jing energy your entire lifespan. And you use it as you age. And when you make babies as a woman, as you have a child, you use more of your Jing. That's why women tend to age when they have children, especially as they're a bit older, and they get to a point where they can't have children anymore. And when men release the semen to create new life, it's a powerful substance, they lose Jing. When we have chronic stress, like long-term stress that's deep, unending, we drain our bodies. We deplete
Mm.
Jing. We deplete Jing
Yeah.
with stress, overwork, lack of sleep, reproductive function to make new life, and chronic systemic inflammation. If you have an inflammatory disease,
I think I'm in trouble because I went through all that. I mean, we've been through a big move, lots of stress. So how do you replenish it?
oh,
What somebody that is listening to you can do, or even like purchase for you to just even without meeting you or going through the training, can take it on an everyday basis to feel better.
first do what you just did. Recognize what my Jing is. Analyze yourself, diagnose yourself. Where have I been leaking Jing? Not just
Mm.
recently, but throughout my whole life. Because
Wow.
you may have been low Jing for the last 10 years and you're doing okay, but you don't have as much oomph in everything you do as you did when you were 20, in your early
Mm.
20s. And it would be neat in my 30s to have all my oomph, all my like Jing
Give me
back that I
some
had in my
thump.
early 20s. So you look, where are the leaks? Am I lacking in sleep? Do I have too much stress? Maybe I need adaptogens to protect me. Is there some other leak? Do I have a chronic source of inflammation somewhere in my body that needs to be addressed? Is there a
Mm.
chronic excessive emotionalism or addiction?
Yeah.
That can be a leak. Okay. Identify the leaks, stop the leaks now. Go to the Jing tonic herbs. Okay, here. I'm going to move my webcam for a second. Okay, there's Ron Teagarden's poster, Jing herbs. Those are all the herbs, the plant substances that we use. We put them in a pot and we boiled up the bulk herbs, and I have all the extracts behind me in the tonic bar to make an elixir. Um,
Mm.
my Jing cappuccino is all of the tonic herb elixir powder extracts into a mixture that you just dump some into hot tea and blend it, and it's like a Starbucks espresso, and you have a Jing tonic.
Oh, that's
So,
amazing.
so
That's much
the next
easier than going to Seattle.
Yeah, you can get Jing tonics anywhere. You can go to a Chinese herb store in Chinatown. Once you
Yeah,
learn
but
the
yes,
Latin
yes,
name for each herb,
yes, and but quality. How do I know? Like, I trust you. I know you have really good quality, but I'm a little, cautious when it comes to buying herbs from different sources.
yeah,
How do you
with
know? How
bulk,
do you know what's good, what's bad? Like, I mean, buying from you is obviously an incredible place to that you can trust, but how do you even know if the place is trustworthy?
yeah, good question. With bulk raw herbs that you're going to cook and make your own teas and elixirs, they don't have organic certification in China, but they
Mhm.
have what's called premium grade and they have conventional.
Okay.
Conventional is sprayed and they use sulfurs and preservatives in the bags. So
Yuck,
you
yuck.
want to get premium. Premium is their version of organic. It's grown
Mm,
higher up in the mountains. It's not down in the flats with their commercial produce that gets crop dusted, and they don't use any preservatives, no sulfates, no sulfurs to preserve it. So there are famous Chinese herb companies like Camwo, Kamwo. Camwo Meridian Herbs is the biggest, most reputable Chinese herb store in New York City. And they have a website. So you can go to their website and you can go to the premium bulk herb section and you can look up some of the most anti-aging longevity herbs like Hushu Wu, Prepared Romania, and at a very affordable price, you can buy large bags, these bulk herbs, they ship them to you in the mail, you break them up, you cook them in a pot, you make one of these teas. It's so smooth, so rich, it goes so deep, you feel the life force grow back in you. These are literally Taoist elixirs, the fountain of youth, secrets lost in nature that have only been preserved by the Taoists. But we can access it now. And we have the internet. We can order these herbs from anywhere in the world. And you can make
yeah.
this kind of elixir in your kitchen and you can get your Jing back that like it was when you were younger and have this vitality and age slower and do everything that you do with a higher level of living, higher quality because you don't get tired, you don't get exhausted, you don't get depleted. You can give more because you got more Jing. You can work harder and bounce back. When you get knocked down or you have a failure in life, you just boom, you get right back up because you have the Jing. But when you're
Yeah,
exhausted,
well, I
hot
need, I
stuff,
need, I need Jing herbs to give me the stamina to go and buy bulk and cook Jing herbs. So
you could just,
for
or
me,
then
it's easier to just get the cappuccino bag from you. I think it's gonna be sufficient.
yeah, or just go to Dragon Herbs and order capsules of Jing herbs and just pop them, just swallow them with any liquid, that
That's
and
amazing.
warm gynostema tea. That's why people do a consult with me, and I ask them about their lifestyle, their budget, where their location. Do you work at home or do you go to a job, 9 to 5? What's going to be the easiest? Because compliance is rule number one. If you don't take the herbs, I can't help you. You got to put them in
Right,
your body some way. You could just get
right.
capsules and drink it with anything. You could get uh, teas and liquids that are extracted that you stir. You could get an elixir like mine that you blend into a warm tea and make an elixir, or you can get bulk herbs. When people come here for a retreat, we like to spoil them. We do it all. We make a bulk herb tea so they can smell the real herbs and feel it and drink it. And we make elixirs and we even make ice creams. We make chocolate coffee mint ice creams. And we use, instead of a lot of chocolate and coffee, we put in a bunch of tonic herbs that taste like chocolate and coffee. So you can
Right.
have an ice cream for dessert and you're eating a bunch of these tonic herbs. And after you eat the
Delicious.
ice cream, it's a keto ice cream, so you don't get a sugar crash. But afterwards, you have a ton of energy. You want to go out and party because you got all this chi flowing through your system. It's pretty cool. We learned how to do this at Air One. Uh,
That's amazing. One of my first episodes on this podcast 8 years ago or more, long time ago, was with Jay and Joy, the Gene Slingers. You
yeah,
probably know them because you're in the same circle. And then I
yeah,
used to like try their elixirs and foods, and it was just like it was divine. It was amazing. Ah, back in the days, those good old days. That's awesome.
yeah. That's where Jay really learned what he's doing and started and how he met Joy. She
Mhm.
was an attendee at a longevity event. Jay was my right-hand guy at the Tonic Bar for several years, from like
Oh wow.
2007 to 2011, and he was the king of making the tonic ice creams and the desserts.
Wow.
And
Yeah, he's
so,
great. Yeah.
yeah, we got to 300 people a day, 7 days a week, coming in off the street and telling us how they're feeling, making custom elixirs, custom
Do you
ice
miss
cream.
those days?
I'm sorry.
Do you miss those days?
Yeah, that's why
Like reminiscing. I feel a little bit like I'm reminiscing now about those days, back in the
well,
days. Where it
those
was just
days.
the beginning of biohacking, and like Dave Asprey just opened the Bulletproof Lab, and it was all about like everything was so new and exciting and phenomenal, and yeah.
It can
Or
be that
maybe
way. It can be that way for someone younger than you just getting into it now. But
yeah, yeah.
I do want to make a tonic bar again, and I'd like to make a couple at big cities around the U.S. And because I got to experience firsthand in 10 years the dynamic, powerful to community, to the impact on the public. When you have a tonic bar there, people can walk in like an oasis, sit down,
Yes.
de-stress, tell you how they're feeling, and get a custom elixir made for them or any other
So
supplements on the
amazing.
spot, and change their energy and replenish their Jing in a short visit. And then they go back out into the world charged up, de-stressed, calm and strong, positive, happy, full of life force. Now they can play and work hard and do whatever they want to do more
Mm,
successfully.
that's
The tonic
amazing.
herbs can take you to the moon. I mean, they're rocket fuel. You got to know how to use them.
Do you see a big difference in your life and your health? Do you feel like you reversed your aging?
Yeah, it changed my life. I mean, really, the stuff I learned saved my life. When I was
Mm.
31 years old and I first found the tonic herbs, I was living like a monk, trying to figure out how to heal myself because I had to quit my acting career. I had to quit my graphic design career. I couldn't have relationships. I couldn't handle the stress of family obligations even. So I had to move, live alone, start to self-study ways to heal myself. And I was fragile. I had to get up 4 times a night to urinate like an old man because I had weak kidneys from adrenal
Wow.
exhaustion. Okay, and I'm only
Wow.
31 years old. And I had gone through some stress. I pushed myself hard. I kind of failed in the things I tried to achieve throughout my 20s. And I felt down about that. And
Mm.
then, but my parents were naturopaths. And when I didn't get the success I was looking for with medical doctors to try to treat some of my leaks, I had candidiasis, I had Epstein-Barr, I had a few
Oh,
things that were leaking my Jing.
yes.
And antibiotics were not the answer, but that was all that was offered to me. So I gave up the medical side. I got back into the naturopathic side that my parents had kind of raised me with, but I had gotten off track for many years. And I started to self study and read books, spend time in nature. And then I found the tonic herbs. And I learned the treasures and I realized, oh, I'm yin jing deficient. So I got the
Mm.
herb, I boiled it, I cooked it. First time I drank it, I felt it go down to the core, replenish my life force. Because
Wow.
at
That's
that time, no matter how
awesome.
much I'd sleep, I couldn't get it back. I kept thinking if I just need to sleep more, and then this chronic fatigue will go away, right? Normally, when you're tired, you rest, and then you're better.
Wow.
But for
Yeah.
me, after a couple of years, so after my late 20s, it wouldn't go away. I had chronic fatigue no matter how much I'd sleep. And then that led to depression because I can't function fully in my life.
Yeah, when you don't sleep, it's terrible.
So
Wow.
the tonic herbs changed my life, saved my life. And then I learned the five Tibetan rites, exercises that build prenatal Jing. So I started to do them, and then I
What
practiced
are
celebrating.
these, please?
The five Tibetan rites are an old Hindu set of five yoga asanas that go to the core of the seven endocrine ductless glands to release prepubescent youth hormones. It's
Wow.
rejuvenation, ancient mystery school Kundalini yoga. It regenerates the seven energy centers, the seven ductless glands, and they get the hormones pumping back. They reverse the aging process, and it only takes 10 to 15 minutes once to twice a day. And if you really feel that you have premature aging and you want to reverse it faster, if a man becomes celibate and takes the Jing tonic herbs and practices the five rites, now you can reverse the aging process the fastest possible. And
Wow.
when you've lost it for a few years and you feel like an old man, and then you do this stuff properly for a while and it comes back and you feel like a kid again, you get your Jing. Oh my God. I mean, it feels good. Then you're like, okay, I learned my lesson. I'm not leaking my Jing again. I'm making it a priority to have a Jing building lifestyle so that then everything I do in my life, I can do better with more vitality. I can give more. I can help more people because I don't get exhausted. I don't run out of energy.
I'm getting so excited talking to you. I'm just like, see, that sounds great, amazing. People like Botox and external stuff is so popular. But when you do those things, like you just keep it forever. You don't need to add those artificial things because you
If you're
rejuvenate. Does it actually help like with I know it's like a vain question. Does it help with wrinkles?
absolutely, I mean, the Tibetans say you're only as old as your chakras and the Jing energy. If your body's aging from the inside, no amount of external help, the
Mm,
external help, a little Botox, skin creams, avoiding the sun, it'll help for a while to look a little
right.
younger, but it's going to catch up with you. If you're aging on the inside, because your colon's toxic, you don't have enough good bacteria, your adrenals are exhausted. Okay, you're loaded in heavy metals, you have infections like candida and viruses and parasites, and you're malnourished, your gut is lined with plaque, you can't absorb nutrients, and you're not digesting your food properly. Your brain is stressed and it's got a lot of metals, you can't sleep deep. Okay, your body's aging from the inside out. It's going to catch up with you, and no amount of cosmetic external effort is going to cover it. You see some of those people that when they get older and they're trying really hard to still look young, but you can see the work they've had done. If
Yes.
they could learn the inner art that I'm trying to teach people of how to regenerate your body from the inside out, from the core up, that's the real deal. Then, and yes, you can still do things for your skin. It's good to do both, inside and
Yes.
outside. Okay.
Yes. But it
And
starts from
and
the inside. For the
and
long
the,
term, the long term game, it starts from the inside.
yeah, it's how you feel because even if you look young, but if you go out into the world, participate in your life, but you only have the vitality that you feel like an older person, it's not that rewarding, is it? You get tired, you're weak, you can't give as much. But if you've got the bounce back, the jing, the vitality, the inner power, like a young person, and your body's still young and can do everything, then that's life. Your life experience is more delicious. You know, everything you can enjoy everything you do because you got the vitality, you got the adaptability, you can handle the stress. Stress for someone who has a lot of jing is actually invigorating. It's just fun. You play with it.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
But when your jing is low, stress is the worst. You get exhausted. You just don't, you want to escape the world. You can't do it. You want to crash. You want to cancel. You want to call in sick. You want to stay in bed. You have
Right.
fear. You have fear. I can't adapt to stress. No, it's too much. It's too much. I'm overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed. I'm anxious, anxiety. When you have a strong nervous system, there's no anxiety. You can tackle everything like a teenager because you have nerves of steel. You're so strong. That's your jing. That's your inner power.
It's beautiful. I'm so happy we're talking. I actually listened to your interview on my husband's podcast, Stephen Spencer, and like the moment I heard you, I was like, oh, I gotta talk to this guy. He's amazing. And that was a long time ago, and I was supposed to reach out and I forgot, and I'm so happy we're talking now. Yeah. Just talking to you makes me feel more alive. Even without the jing, without the herbs, without the elixirs. It's your energy, it's your chi.
If I can embody that energy and I get your focus for this 45 minutes. You're looking at me, your attention's on me. It's not on Netflix or on someone else that's got a different energy. I'm
Right,
going to influence you. We
right.
co-create, we influence each other, we affect one another. So
Mm,
if more of us that are especially around each other are raising our energy, raising our consciousness, raising our focus, thinking more positive thoughts, cleaning our energy field, our aura, building our jing, our life force, our vitality, eating better quality foods, okay? Uh, it changes our energy and we affect each other. You know, Dan
yeah.
Pina, the $50 billion man, he says, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. Okay. And so
Like,
sometimes
okay, that's, so I'm struggling with that. I'm struggling with that phrase. You're the average of the five people you hang out with the most, blah, blah, blah. So I moved and all my, the people I used to hang out with are not close by. And I haven't found my let's say my tribe yet. I hang out with a lot of nice people, but it doesn't feel like I found my tribe yet. So how do I do that? Because if this is my future, the people I hang out with now, n- not exactly where I want to be. So how do you balance that? like you still like you love those people, you want to hang out with them, they're very kind, but like I don't have this like like the super conscious high level people that I aspire to be more around.
No. Love is the operative word. No judgment. Unconditionally love them, love everyone. We're all
Yeah,
one at source's level. But at this,
right.
but who's the most important one? You have to be selfish to be goddish, Abraham Hicks says. You, as a god, can only perceive life experience from the point of view of self. So turn your energy back to you, go
Mm.
inward enough time throughout the day to practice self-love and say, what do I want? What's best for me? What excites me? What raises my vibration? And maybe it's my health stuff that I do that my regular friends don't do. So give your
Right, yeah.
give your regular friends a little love when it comes up, the
I
time in
always
there.
give them love and I love them, but
Turn
as far as aspirations, they don't have the aspirations that I have.
but
Um,
turn the majority of your free time and free will energy to yourself and do what you love that raises your vibration, and do it because you're passionate, do it because you love it, do it because it makes you stronger, because it's expanding you. And if you get so into what you do, you become contagious.
right,
Demonstration
I become the
calls
magnet.
through.
I love
And then
that.
guess what? You, other people that you have not met yet, will bump into you and they'll see you and they'll go, wow, look at her. She's got something going on. I like her energy. I want some of that. And then you'll attract people on your new wavelength and you'll make new friends that are already doing what you're doing that you enjoy being around. Okay.
You
If
just
you,
took my
you'll
you just took
attract,
me from a victim to somebody who should actually own themselves and
if
where
you
they
want to
are.
make, if you want to make friends that are billionaires, you have to think, act, move, pretend, and behave as if you were a billionaire now. The universe doesn't know the difference between you imagining that you're a billionaire or actually being one. If you feel how good it feels to have that level of financial security and dynamic financial freedom to be a billionaire, and you make
Mhm.
it so clear practicing the frequency of that vibration from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep every single day, you practice that frequency so well that just watch. You'll start attracting other friends who are billionaires because they think you're a billionaire. It's no different. And then you will become a billionaire. It's
That's
like, it's all
amazing.
vibration. It's all focus. It's all quantum mechanics.
Yes, yes, yes. Amen to that. Wow. I really liked hearing that. Thank you. I want to talk to you about mushrooms. Mushrooms! From, you know, like Reishi and her friends to psilocybin. Can you share a little bit about mushrooms?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Ling Qi, the Chinese name for reishi mushroom. Okay, the herb of immortality, spiritual potency, good fortune, and longevity, the most sought after substance in China for 4,000 years among Taoist monks, herbalists, and emperors. The Forbidden City, the decorative carvings on the pillars, on the throne, they have this shape, this cloud shape of the reishi mushroom. All the old Taoist Chinese art, you'll see this shape. Okay, one of the most famous books ever written. Some people say more copies sold than the Bible is the Tao Te Ching by
Yeah,
Lao
I
Tzu.
have it. I have
This
it
is
with them. Yeah, I love this book.
the Stephen Mitchell translation, my favorite translation. If you read these passages, the sage is not attached to anything. Therefore, he or she does what is right without speaking, simply by being in the Tao. It's this beautiful, effortless letting go, expanding in oneness connection to the universe, to source, to God, to the observer. And the Taoist's number one favorite herb is reishi mushroom. Okay. It's a three treasure tonic herb. It nourishes Jing, Qi, and Shen, but especially Shen. It's a Shen stabilizer to stop the emotions of anxiety, fear, depression, stress. And it's a Shen developer to help people grow
Wow.
spiritually. But it's not psychoactive. It doesn't release neurotransmitters. It doesn't deplete you. You don't have to take 5-HTP afterwards like you do with psilocybin. This is a
Mm.
tonic. You take it every day. It slows down aging. It makes the body lighter. It makes you more in the moment, present and centered and balanced emotionally, spiritually. It opens the heart. It makes you more creative, more loving. It makes you more intelligent. Women that know,
Give me that mushroom that you're holding in your hand right now. I want it.
women, you can tell me, I'll send it. Women that know, they have reishi babies. They take reishi all during their pregnancy, and they have fast, easy deliveries. Their children are born highly intelligent, highly creative and magical and artistic, yet and very strong immune systems with no heavy metals or toxins in the liver. Today we live in a very toxic world environment. I'm
Yeah.
sure you know. A credit card of microplastics per week, 15 grams ingested, PFAS, blah, blah, blah.
And
Reishi
now the
mushroom,
spray in the sky with aluminum and heavy metals and other things.
reishi to the rescue. It protects you.
Reishi to the rescue! Da, da, da.
Yes, it detoxes all the heavy metals. It's gentle for children. It's safe. Give it to animals, give it to everyone. And it centers you emotionally. And it makes you grow spiritually. It makes you more creative, more artistic. It makes you a better lover, a better artist, a better mother, a better daughter. It makes your relationship to nature, to animals better. It makes you and it makes your immune system better. It balances. It's a medical wonder. I mean, it's great for hypertension, for diabetes, for preventing cancer, for
Really,
asthma.
even like, can you give it to somebody even if they're on medication?
Yeah, it takes off the side effects of meds. They use it as
For
food
reals?
therapy. Yes.
Wow.
So cancer patients that have to take like a lot of chemo meds in China, the real herbalists, they give the patients reishi mushroom along with their chemo meds because it makes it takes away the side effects from the chemo. Their hair doesn't fall out, they don't get as sick, and the drugs become more effective. Makes the drugs work better with less side effects. Reishi balances like hundreds of microfunctions. It's the ultimate adaptogen and protector and
And
detox.
adaptogen meaning that if you need less of it, it will adapt to your needs,
It's a
right?
biological response modifier, BMR. Okay,
Wow,
that's
it's a big
the
word.
Russians coined this term in the 1950s, adaptogen. They had a war with the Koreans in the early 50s, I think. And the Koreans had a small army, but they proved to be incredibly difficult to overcome. The Russians outnumbered them like in massive quantities, yet it took them so long to overcome the Chinese. And then finally, these Koreans, they finally won this war. And the general went in and said, how come these Koreans were so hard to overcome? And then they found in the middle of their camp, they had a warehouse full of Korean ginseng roots, which is a young red ginseng, one of the most powerful herbs in the world. It's a hot chi tonic that stimulates you, gives you energy and strength. In the outnumbered Korean army, they were staying up, these soldiers, 4 days at a time with zero sleep. They were eating
Wow.
Korean ginseng roots. And Korean ginseng makes you strong, and you don't need sleep, and you're more acute. You can focus. You're clear. It's better than caffeine. Caffeine's a drug. You're just pumping out adrenaline. You get a little bit of
You squeeze your adrenaline and it shuts them down in the long
then you
run.
crash. You're adrenal addicted. You're exhausted. You take ginseng. It gives you more energy than caffeine with better mental focus. But you don't. But it builds your chi. You don't crash. It's real energy.
And
So
can
the
you take
Russians, they
all
studied.
yeah, can you take all adaptogenic herbs together?
Yes, that's the great thing about the
All of
tonics.
them? Like I can get this and this and this and they will not
Oh,
interfere with each other?
there's only like 6 to 12 super tonic herbs, maybe 25 mid-class tonic herbs altogether. But they are all foods that are tonic, that are safe to take together for anybody every day. And the longer you take them, the better they work. So yeah, you can pick and choose. You can say, I want ginseng, I want reishi, I want cordyceps,
Oh,
I
and
want,
everything on your shelf right now.
and then you add these super tonics to your life, and you feel what they do, and it's a treasure. It's a treat. I had a long day's work yesterday. I had to travel, do an out call to a client in another city, got back late, and there's nothing like making a hot Jing cappuccino in your kitchen and calming down and feeling the life force go back in. And then all the stress from the day is gone and you're recharged and you sleep, boom, 8 hours like a kid. Wake up full of Jing, bounce out of bed, have a yang tonic in the morning for energy to get going, and then go out in the day and give, your energy, rock, kill it. It's like they're
And
the power source.
do you sell reishi or where do you source it?
I
Like what
I
price
actually I
is it?
actually have the best reishi mushroom extract powder that
Mm.
I've ever had in 25 years of working with tonic herbs. I sell 500-gram bags for $100. No, it's 125 bucks for a half kilo, 500 grams plus the shipping. And it says on the label, you can do a half teaspoon or a teaspoon. mixed in hot water or tea and drink it. I also put it in capsules for some people who don't want the extract powder. But when you drink it, you feel it. And
Mm.
it's a spiritual experience. I mean, you have to take a teaspoon to a half teaspoon of reishi, half a cup of hot tea, sit down, calm down for just a few minutes, drink the tea, and see what happens. Because it
You're
can
asking
alter
me to calm down. Okay, that's gonna be a
it can
challenge.
alter your consciousness immediately and have this spiritual effect, this clarity. And
Mm.
it's a beautiful thing. You can't talk. It's like the opening of the Tao Te Ching says the Tao is that which cannot be named. To try to
Yes, I saw
explain
that
it
one.
in words literally contradicts the concept of what the Tao is. It's such a deep thing that only by not talking, but by being in the infinite isness of the now, can you go into subconscious mind, into the moment, and start to experience the profoundness of what that is. Reishi mushroom helps you do that. It slows down time. That's why they use reishi to get people off anti-anxiety meds and antidepressant drugs. Okay? It's because
Chris,
it's
do you record meditations?
do I record meditations?
Yes.
I haven't. That's an interesting idea.
It was really like even like this little piece that you said. I was like, wow, we can put some like high frequency music behind it and have him speak.
Dr. Joe Dispenza does,
Yeah,
and
yeah, but I would rather hear.
you just gave me a good idea. I would love to do a guided meditation recording while a customer of mine takes my reishi mushroom and sits down, closes their eyes, they're calm, and then I guide them through and
And
help.
record it so other people can enjoy it too.
Yeah. Wow, you should be my business advisor.
Just want to be your friend.
It's a great idea.
Yeah. So I want to ask you about mushrooms. Um, so we can get some from you. What other mushrooms do you recommend that are amazing, like reishi?
Cordyceps. Cordyceps. It's a completely different mushroom. That's a caterpillar
That's for
fungus.
adrenals, right?
I'm
Adrenal
sorry.
fatigue. That's for adrenal fatigue.
Yeah, cordyceps is a Jing herb. It's great for the kidneys, adrenals. It's great for the lungs, for asthma. It's great for energy. It's good for the immune system. Not all cordyceps is cordyceps, though. This is one of the trickiest herbs in the supplement industry. If you just
Oh.
go on Amazon or walk into Whole Foods and buy a bottle of cordyceps, 95% of the time, you're going to get mycelium substrate, unfermented cordyceps that's just rice flour. There's no cordyceps in it with,
Wow.
with magnesium stearate, toxic fillers that you don't even want, anyways. And but the confusing part is that if you go on Google and you search cordyceps, cordyceps is a very famous herb that has a really good pedigree. So everything you will read about cordyceps is going to sound amazing. The female track team in the 1990s broke all the world records because their coach gave them cordyceps. Cordyceps gives you Jing, life force, chi, energy, strength,
Mm.
endurance, stamina, and it boosts blood flow. It helps the liver. It's antifungal. It helps cancer. It's different than reishi. Taking reishi and cordyceps together, Jing and Shen, is really awesome. But you got to know how to get good cordyceps. So I've been opening cordyceps capsules, tasting them, trying every brand. And there's two types of cordyceps. You see, it's a fungus up in
Mm.
Bhutan, 18,000 feet, travels in the air. It falls down on the head of a caterpillar, little
What?
caterpillar in the frozen tundra grass. Okay. The fungus lands on the head of the caterpillar. It goes into its brain and it starts to connect to its neurons to control its brain. And
Huh.
it makes the caterpillar turn upright so its head is facing up in the sky. Controls, and then the caterpillar fungus goes deeper in and engulfs the entire brain of the mushroom of the caterpillar, and then it goes down and it eats the entire caterpillar. That's why cordyceps is also called caterpillar fungus because
And
it's a
that's good
fungus.
for us.
Yes, the Taoists figured this out 4,000 years ago. Who would have thought? It's amazing, though. It's
Wow.
worth a million
Is it
dollars.
true that psilocybin can do something like that to our brain too, or that's just a myth?
That's an interesting idea. No, I think psilocybin is completely different, and it has certain medicinal uses and purposes, and it can even grow some neurons in the hippocampus.
Yeah,
So
I
there
heard
are
that
some
too.
benefits you can
Yeah,
do.
actually, my friend used it in microdosing for his mom for dementia. He used that, and he used reishi, and it really, really helped her. And some other things. He had like a whole protocol that he came up with, but definitely helped her.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So the caterpillar fungus, the cordyceps, engulfs the whole caterpillar. The caterpillar becomes the mycelium, which is Cordyceps sinensis. That's the strain. And then once it's done engulfing the whole caterpillar, the actual mushroom itself that you see come out of the ground or the log like this, the fruiting body, this is the
Hmm.
sexual apparatus of the mushroom. The real mushroom, the mycelium's underground or it's in the log. This is the sexual apparatus that pops out, creates this film, a spore. It pops and shoots the spores, its seeds out in the air so it can have offspring. Okay, so when the cordyceps engulfs the caterpillar, then it grows the fruiting body off the top. This tip grows off the head up into the air. And that's called Cordyceps militaris. It's a different strain.
Mm.
And the Taoists said that if you take both Cordyceps militaris and sinensis, meaning fruiting body and mycelium together, the whole mushroom, and you do it every day, good quality cordyceps, it can build prenatal Jing. So we didn't talk about
Really?
that.
Wow.
There's not just Jing. There's yin Jing and yang Jing. There's prenatal Jing and postnatal Jing. And then there are Jing locking substances. There are herbs that don't really build Jing, but they lock in your Jing and prevent you from losing Jing. Okay,
Wow.
that's called a locking herb. So the Taoists would want to build yin and yang Jing. They'd want to build up postnatal Jing, and then if they were more depleted, they want to rebuild some prenatal Jing, and then they want to take a locking herb to protect it. Then go to the Qi tonics, build Qi, nourish blood. Then go to the Shen tonics, stabilize Shen, and then develop Shen. And then you got the whole deal going
Mm.
on. So if you, I don't know if you can see the caterpillar here. Can you see that?
Yes.
That's a whole caterpillar. This is the fruiting body, Cordyceps militaris. This is the mice, and that's the mycelium, Cordyceps sinensis. But that's the whole caterpillar. This is worth $1 million a ton. It's one of the most expensive herbs in the world. They have
Wow.
to hunt, they have to gather it by hand. That's wild Tibetan cordyceps. But it gives you life force. Okay. The Taoists knew about it. The emperors that could afford it, they consumed cordyceps. You go to Chinatown, you get a little tray of those caterpillars like this big,
Hmm.
$4,000 for a
Wow.
week's supply. Yeah,
Crazy.
yeah. But that's if money's no object, which it isn't, because it's just energy. If you want more air, you take it, you open your lungs deeper and you breathe deeper, right? That's what Abraham Hicks said. If you want more money, you just breathe in more money, okay? Because I want cordyceps, and it's $1 million. And cordyceps is a natural food, a substance. You're living on this beautiful planet, planet Earth. Well, then you have the right to take advantage of its gifts. And every gift of the garden is a treasure.
Mm.
Cordyceps is just one of them. So you can consume cordyceps every day, and it will make you stronger and younger and live longer and do what you do with more vitality. And you can bounce back from stress. You can't burn out the candle, you can't get sick, slow down your aging greatly. So I use these herbs as longevity substances, but I use them to enhance the quality of life and my ability to give them service without burning out myself.
That's amazing. Can those mushrooms, fungus, be used against other fungus like black mold?
That's a very good question. These are hot water extracted medicinal tonic herb mushrooms. They're not like a slimy, wet Agaricus asperus at Sizzler in the salad bar that you could get mold from. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Okay. So there are low quality mushrooms, and there are some toxic mushrooms that may look very interesting in the forest, but they could kill you in minutes if you ingested it, if you didn't
Mm.
know. Okay. And then there are mushrooms that can make you live for 300 years like a Taoist immortal, like
Mhm.
like like Felinus, the mushroom of immortality, Felinus ignarius, Felinus lentius, and then of course reishi mushroom, agaricus, cordyceps, maitake mushroom, lion's mane. All these medicinal mushrooms, hot water extracted. You cook down the chitin, you're left with the polysaccharides, these super complex special sugar molecules. And the human immune system is very similar to the mushroom's immune system. These
Really?
polysaccharides go into your bloodstream when you drink the tea. They plug like a key into a lock and open receptor sites of your white blood cells, and they turn on your immune system. and they make your immune system go fight off black mold and bad fungus and
Wow.
candida. Okay. So there's good fungus, there's bad fungus. There's good yeast, there's bad yeast. There's good bacteria, there's bad bacteria. There's acidophilus, there's E. coli. There's
Mm.
Saccharomyces boulardii, you know what I mean? And then there's like, candida, which we don't want. And there are mushrooms that are not good for you, and there are mushrooms that can help you be an immortal.
Amazing.
That's what you want to learn.
I want to live
So
forever, healthy, happy, joyful. Um, for kids, can they take those elixirs, the mushroom extracts? Is there a limit on age and quantity?
absolutely, the tonics are safe. They're a food group. The children can take them. And I know herbalists that gave their children tonic herbs. They raised them on herbs. They took herbs during pregnancy and had super children. They give it to their cats, their dogs, and they make their animals stronger. Um, but you might use lower doses, and you wouldn't choose herbs that are quite as young or stimulating because a child is more sensitive. And same
Right.
with an animal, like dogs and cats, you need small amounts. They're very so with children, they instead of giving ginseng, because it's a pretty powerful chi tonic, especially a red ginseng, it's very energizing, especially Korean red ginseng. You wouldn't give that to a kid. They'll be bouncing off the walls like they're on. Like, so you would give them Codonopsis. That's a different root that has similar properties to ginseng, but it's more yin and it's more mild, but it
Mm.
tastes good. Um, and there's so many ways to play with the herbs. Like uh, we make our own
How do you
summer.
make it taste good? Because when I used to go to this acupuncturist who he would source his herbs like his students. He was a kung fu master as well, and his students would like source the herbs from the mountains, and but the herbs taste so bad. Like every time I tasted it, I was like gagging. I was forcing myself to drink them.
The inferior herbs, the medicinal Chinese herbs that acupuncturists use to treat symptoms and disease, there are many of those herbs. They're called, by the Taoists, those are called inferior herbs because
Oh, those.
you only
Okay.
take them when you got sick.
Mm.
Okay. The tonic herbs that I use, that none of them taste bad. They're foods you can
Okay.
take every day. You don't take them when you're sick, though. You take them when you're already healthy in order to stay healthy, to become younger, to be stronger, have more vitality, or be more virile, more fertile, and increase spiritual growth potency and build your defensive chi, your immune system up. Okay. So all the tonic herbs, for the most part, really, they taste good. They're foods. They're easy to
Mm.
use. We incorporate them on our foods. I'm a raw foodist. I'm a raw food chef. We make our own dehydrated kale crisps raw, but I don't use nutritional yeast to make the cheese sauce like most people do when they make a nacho cheese Doritos recipe, in raw food or vegetarian cooking. They use nutritional yeast a lot, which is a byproduct of the beer industry. It has gluten, it has carbs, it has a lot of other allergens that are not good for people. So I have a strain of Cordyceps mushroom because it's a ferment that tastes just like nutritional yeast, but better. And so I make my nacho cheese dip sauce for my kale chips with Cordyceps. So we have Cordyceps kale chips. I could show them to you. I wish you could try one. They're
Give
incredible.
me one. I want to try it.
You're eating
Oh, nice.
cordyceps, this most incredible, delicious food that tastes better than Doritos, but no guilt because you know you're not eating junk food. You're eating a health product that's dehydrated at 105 degrees, totally raw. So I
Mm.
combine raw foodism with Chinese tonic herbs, which are different worlds. That the Chinese normally don't like raw foods because they say it's hard on the spleen. You must cook everything, make it warm, because they come from a different diet system and they have different
Mm.
beliefs. So for me, I'm an alchemist. I take apart the best pieces of different systems, and I learn to bring them together in a unique way to give us even more benefits instead of getting stuck into dogmas. So I don't do everything like Chinese. Some of the herbalists I worked with were only Chinese in their influence of health, meaning they frowned upon eating raw food because it wasn't considered proper in
Mm.
tonic and Chinese medicine. But I knew after experimentation, study, and research, I believed differently that there was benefit to raw food, but there was also benefit to Chinese herbs. So I
Mm.
decided to use both together. And that was one thing that was a little bit unique about me in my early days at Dragon Herbs, because I was the only raw foodist who was also a Taoist Chinese tonic herbalist, which is kind of
Wow.
bizarre. Kind of bizarre, because normally the Chinese herbalists are macrobiotics. They eat everything 100% cooked.
After so many years doing what you're doing and exploring and taking herbs and learning about the Tao, what are some of your biggest spiritual lessons?
That's a big question. That's a whole nother podcast I
I
could
know.
talk about. I really think it's beingness, reading about the tonic herbs, reading the three treasures, bringing them into your life, the discipline of preparing, making your herbs, taking them, and then feeling how they center you. Slow down time, bring you in the moment, replenish your life force. They keep you so balanced that then you go throughout your day, and the rest of your day is kind of like a meditation.
Mm,
You're centered, you're calmer, you feel fulfilled inside. I don't need to work so hard. I don't need to give so much. I don't need to try so hard outside of me, because
nice.
the herbs have helped me find myself, find my center, my fulfillment, my peace. I feel grounded, centered, satisfied, whole, and complete. Therefore, I don't need anything else. But I am here in this body, and it's only Wednesday. It's 11 o'clock in the morning. So you go throughout your day in a state of balance, and you give. You serve your family, or your workplace, your job, but you do it from a place of calmness, of inner strength, of balance, of groundedness, and of open Shen, of love for the moment. And you feel gratitude for your state of being because you're centered. Okay, you're balanced. Your yin and yang is balanced. You're in the moment. When you balance your three treasures, when you commit to a lifestyle of the way you eat, the way you exercise, the way you meditate, the way you take your herbs, the way you spend a little time in nature, that gives you everything you need. Then you're complete. Then you don't have to try hard for anything outside of you. Then you just go through life and observe and enjoy and be in the moment. And that state is so conducive to slowing down aging. And it's so conducive to you finding the emotional fulfillment, the real purpose of life. It's the people that are out of the centeredness, that are out of the moment. They're trying so hard to do this and do that and fix this problem and do this, that their life becomes miserable. And they're lost and they need therapy and they're stressed out and they're anxious. And then they start to look in the mirror and they say, oh my God, I look horrible. I'm aging. And so they do some Botox or cover it up. But no. You've got to just stop everything, recenter everything, go back inside the core, get balanced, drink a reishi tea, be in the moment. Nothing else matters. If you're that stressed and out of the moment that you're aging your body, you're draining your Jing and you're stressed out and you're not going to get anything done. You're not going to make yourself happy. You're not going to be able to please anyone else. You're no good for anybody. You're just a rat in a wheel going in circles, stressed out. And it's torture and it's
Right.
exhausting and it's no fun. So you have to stop and reset and get centered and get balanced and get connected. And then nourish yourself. And when you're strong and nourished with your three treasures, then you feel good and you have everything you need, you're balanced. Then you go outside of yourself and you do your duty. You serve your family or you serve your employer of your workplace. You do your job and you do it in a state of centeredness, groundedness, love, peace, strength, and you have extra energy to give. And you are not stressed the whole time you give and help other people, even in a job of service like I had that was stressful, where 300 people a day are coming to the Tonic bar telling you their problems. You have to make their drinks. If you're centered, grounded, balanced, calm, and strong, fulfilled from inside, you can stay in your center and just look at each person, go one at a time, and make their tonics and give it to them with love. And at the end of the day, you're not stressed. You just got to enjoy being in the moment the whole way through. And if you do that every decade of your life, you're going to get to have a long life with peace and fulfillment and joy. No stress, no anxiety that created cancer or some disease that you're later diagnosed with it. Now you have to panic and react to that. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's wisdom. It's real wisdom. And reading the Tao Te Ching, in your spare time when you're drinking your reishi tea and you take a break out in nature. It
It's a
just
beautiful
helps
book.
remind you of the wisdom being centered in the Tao,
Right.
balance.
Thank you so much for that wisdom. And where can people find you?
thejingmaster.com. That's my website, my consultation page to apply for a private one-on-one consult. And I do video consults with people all over the world. And I do invite clients. I send them a video tour of the Jing Cave, the clinic that I'm in here right now, where I have set up as a healing center. And yeah, that's it for now.
Amazing. Thank you. Truth, that was really heartwarming, fun, lovely interview. Thank you so much for your kindness and your wisdom and everything you shared with us today.
You're very welcome.
Yes. And thank you, listeners. Remember to be in the moment, take care of yourself, recenter, connect, nourish yourself, and have a stellar life. This is Orion. Till next time.